for rounds 3 and 4 of the championship. We shall also be returning here later on in the campaign. Qualifying for the first race has started, so let's check it out.
Right then, hello and welcome back to ToCA Touring Car Championship. As Tiff just said, rounds 3 and 4 from Silverstone International. As always, we're not going to take part in qualifying, we're just going to start at the back, because at this point in the championship, the difficulty isn't as hard as it will be later on in the series. So Frank Bila actually takes pole position with Jason Plato and Alan Menu down in 3rd place, which is unusual, and John Bincliffe starting in 4th. And of course, we're starting all the way down in 16th. Our teammate Kelvin Burt starting in 9th.
Well, it's time to go down to the track where the cars are ready to start the first race.
And here we go then. We need 10 points at this venue, which should be easy. We'll win, hopefully, both of these races and continue on with the dominant form in the championship. The difficulty doesn't really spike until about a quarter way through the championship or halfway through. Yeah, we don't have anything to worry about just at the moment. The Renaults are still fairly easy to pass. Talking about passing though, we will lap the tail enders about 3 or 4 times during this race. Get out of the way. I think that's Tim Harvey in Peugeot, so I just give him a little nudge, and off he goes. I did have a comment a couple of days ago by a user called Axel, asking about a strange chicane on one of the racetracks. I believe it is this one, because after the Abbey hairpin, they used the old Superbike Chicane, which is just here. Instead of going straight on to Bridge Corner, you got this chicane here. So I think this is the one that you were talking about, because they never used it, I don't believe, in any other iteration of the British touring cars. But there you go. I may be completely wrong, but I think that is the chicane you were talking about. And as you can see, already up into 3rd place if the Honda doesn't get in the way, and around we go. Whoops. Oh my word. Well, I think our car is looking a bit worse for wear. I think the rear end should still be right. Yeah, it was the front that took most of the damage. Unfortunately, you can't see the front of the car. But that was a bit of a hectic lap 1. 1 lap down, 19 to go. Now the thing is that they tried to replicate the weather for the championship in this game as it was in real life. There was no rain at rounds 3 and 4. There was a little bit of drizzle, but race 3 started completely dry. I think there was a little bit of drizzle later on in the race, and I think race 2 was... I'm not sure if they had a huge amount of rain. Maybe they did later on in the race, but I think it started off fairly dry as well. Oh well, get past these numpties again. Back up into 4th. So, as this is going to be another time trial for us, because we're going to get past the Renaults fairly easily. This is... oh my word. Getting it all crossed up. This is pretty much going to be a time trial to see if we can get the fastest lap time. Even though it doesn't do anything, it doesn't give us any bonus points or anything like that. And I probably will be qualifying later on in the championship as well, just so I'm a bit higher up to make my life a little bit easier. At the moment though, there's really no point. Like I said, you can pass all the cars with ease. And yeah, 126.9. We can probably get that down to 120. Just keep everything nice and smooth. Alright, back up to one of the Renaults anyway. I think the Audi is still leading. He's actually pulling ahead. Of course, the Audis did dominate in wet conditions because they were using 4-wheel drive. That was outlawed, or that was banned for 1998. Oh, tried to cut back into my line, didn't work. Nope, the Renaults have got past the Audi. But yeah, they were using 4-wheel drive for 96 and 97. and that was banned for 1998. So they were just front-wheel drive after that. But yeah, because of the four-wheel drive, they did do very well in wet conditions because of the extra grip. But not showing it here because, yeah, this game doesn't simulate the characteristics of the cars that well. So I believe that's Plato in car 22. Just give him a little nudge, and off he goes. And now just Alan Menu to go. Our antagonist for this season. Starting lap 4. Cool. And 125, still not what we should be at, which is 120-ish. I just want to take these corners as smooth as possible because the car itself, or the handling, has a bit of a large dead zone. So you have to push the stick a lot further just to get the car to turn a little bit, and it can be a bit dodgy. Get around. There we go. Right, that's the Renault's taken care of. I know it's dirty tactics, but again, it will benefit us later on in the championship and make our lives a hell of a lot easier than, say, just letting them get through scot-free. Right, so after all the shenanigans have sorted themselves out after the first couple of laps, now it's time to just push, get the fastest lap time, and get this race over and done with. So we should win by about 30 odd seconds if we don't get pushed around all over the place. And the thing is as well with the AI is that they have a tendency to actually block their line. If they see you coming up behind, they will actually move out of their line to block you. So that is one good thing, I suppose. There we go, 124, so we're chiseling away at the times, but still not as fast as we can go. Of course, I don't have any cars to punt off in front. No, that's what I mean about the sensitive steering and handling. Just slightly a bit too much and the car goes around. But, oh well. And you've probably all noticed as well, there's a bit of a lull in the amount of uploads recently. Once again, if you haven't looked at the community tab on YouTube, I've been posting updates regularly. Is that the hard drive is failing quite quickly, so everything lags, and I just haven't been able to get things posted as quick as I would have liked. And that is also affecting the render times of the videos that I edit and everything. So before, when everything was working fine, I mean, the editing or the rendering times were still fairly high, around about 2 to 3 to 4 hours on average. And that was for videos with overlays, like what I usually do, like have the replays in the bottom corners and stuff like that. As the hard drive has been slowly dying, that has increased to 16 to 18 hours. Even videos with no overlays like this, for example, like the PlayStation videos as well, they take in excess of 8 hours to render. And the thing is as well, the worst part about that is that I'm unable to use the computer while everything is rendering. Otherwise it just messes with the times, it just increases the times. If I've got like my browser open or even Steam running in the background, the render times double. So they can go up to like 12 hours for a half an hour video. So yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum, but hopefully that should be sorted next month. Jay's coming up and he's going to help me sort out the system, and we're going to fit in an SSD drive. Lovely. So yeah, things should be back to normality fairly soon. Fingers crossed. So there will be a period of downtime where I'm backing up all my data, which I have been doing in little bits and bobs. But yeah, I will be backing up all my data, and of course the system will be out of action for a few days, so there won't be any uploads unless I can record a load of episodes in bulk and then just spend the time rendering, which is going to take up all my time anyway. Because like I said, I can't use the system when it renders because it just lags the whole system out completely. So yeah, it's great fun. Oh, technology, isn't it great when it fails us? Okay, so we still haven't beaten our lap record yet of 1:24.6. I'm probably get, like I said, I can probably get it down to around about 1:21, 1:20-ish if I don't spin and cock up and everything else. There's the Peugeot, as some people say. That name for the Peugeot has never left me. I was doing an online race. I had my own league that I set up on Forza Motorsport 2 or 3, one of them, where we were all in PT Cruisers. And we called it the Cruiser Crew because why not? It was hip in the now back in 2006, 2007. But yeah, I had a little league that we would race on the Sidewinder tracks, or the snake tracks like King Cobra and stuff like that. And they had a lot of them in Forza 2. And I was doing a spot race at Nordschleife in one of me, I think it was the Saab Aero that I used to have in a touring car kit. And this chap called the Peugeot a Peugeot. And that has and it was the same person who asked me what part of London I was from, because they thought the entirety of the United Kingdom was called London. And I had to try and give a lesson to say, no, London's the capital, I live in the United Kingdom. And they couldn't understand it as well, but it was funny, you know, bless him. It's hard to believe that was 14 years ago. I used to race with a load of good friends as well back then, like there was a chap called Bubble and Elsid and everything else. And yeah, it was good times. It was a lot simpler times. And I wish I could go back in time and just relive those good old days. I used to do a lot of online racing on the Xbox back in the day. Set up multiple leagues, touring car leagues. We had a championship, online championship on Project Gotham Racing as well. That was great fun. I enjoyed that. In fact, there's, talking about the Cruiser Crew, there's a video floating around somewhere from one of the races that we had at the Speedway. And it's just called Cruiser Crew, but the crew is spelt with a K. So, you know, again, it was like hip and now and with the kids in it sort of thing. But the way the cars were set up back then is they only had 3 gears. Because we usually used to race on the small Sidewinder tracks, 3 gears were ample. If you went into 4th gear, the car would just splutter and come to a standstill. So, yeah, manual gears were the order of the day. We had, I can't remember what the name of it is. It was the smallest Sidewinder track on Forza 2. And we used to have 100 lap enduros on there, and it wouldn't take long, about 20 minutes. But it was a great way to build up your money and experience for the career mode. So, yeah, I mean, it was a shame when Forza 3 came out. Or Forza. I say Forza, sue me. When Forza 3 came out, they got rid of most of the smaller ones and kept the larger tracks, which were a bit annoying. Like King Cobra. And they changed all the names, because they were just Sidewinders back in Forza 2. And then they changed them to like King Cobra and Adder and all this stuff. And then they got rid of them completely in Forza 4, which was really disappointing because, you know, they were just fun. They were great fun to drive on. Well, we gave a hand to our teammate anyway. So, yeah, I think Forza 2 was the best of... You know, I love Forza 3 and Forza 4, but personally I think Forza 2 was the best of the lot of them because it was a lot harder. You had to really grind races to save up the money to buy a certain car. In Forza 3 and 4, after one race, you had like a bonus system where you could get like a Bugatti Veyron or a 50,000 credit bonus immediately, and then when you get other bonuses from other manufacturers, it's sort of like, okay, so parts are now free. You can upgrade your car completely for free, and I thought, well, you know, that's just taking all the fun out of it, really. Nice pirouette, but there you go. Yeah, they're all back there. If you notice as well, why I keep mentioning John Cleland quite often when we're coming up to lap him, is that he's the easiest one. Him and Derek Warwick, they're the easiest cars to spot because they're the only cars that have different colours. The other ones, it's very difficult to spot the car numbers on the side because of how pixelated this game is. So I don't know if I'm coming up to Craig Baird or Will Hoy or Tarquini, and we just both went off in sympathy, which is good. So yeah, when we come up to lap, say, the Vauxhalls of Cleland and Warwick, that's why. And it's surprising, halfway through the 1997 campaign, is that there was a rule in the ToCA package, or ToCA package, to state that team cars must have identical liveries. So halfway through, the Vauxhalls of Cleland and Warwick went for a more checkerboard style paint scheme with white and red, you know, checker pattern on the sides, and it did look really snazzy. But they never added that to this game, which would have been nice. But I suppose with limitations to the software, they couldn't add it in, even on the PC version. I think the only thing different from the PC version to this one was that you could see driver names on the windows, which I would have loved on this one because it would have made my life easier in spotting who's driving what car rather than just pinpointing Cleland and Warwick. And of course my teammate I know, which is Kelvin Burt. That was one thing that they changed for ToCA 2 is in this one you take the guise of the #1 driver. In ToCA 2, you take the guise of the second driver. So, for example, if you were in the Volvos, you would be, I think it's Morbidelli that was driving the Volvo in 1998, and Rickard Rydell, of course, was the #1 driver. In this one, you take the control of the #1 driver in the team. So, for example, if I was in the Vauxhalls, I would be driving John Cleland's car. And so on and so forth. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. I just clipped his bumper. But oh well. That's another reason why I love going back to these older games, because they were so fun to play. I mean, game devs these days, they care more about how a game looks than how a game actually plays or feels. And that's taken the fun element out of most games these days. I mean, because they look pretty, yes, but I mean, looks aren't everything to a successful game. Because look at these games, I mean, they look absolute ass now, but they're still incredibly fun to play. And I would rather play a PlayStation 1 game than some games these days, like possibly R Factor 2 or something like that, which R Factor 2 isn't bad, but it's broken. Heavily broken. I mean, the AI, if you have a full race on the oval track in the stock cars, they're morphing about and bouncing around all over the place. It looks like an online race from NASCAR 2003, back in 2003. And there's no championships either. If you go into like the series page, there's nothing, it's just blank. So that game is still like unfinished and heavily broken. I think R Factor 1 was more optimized, to be honest. And that game is just as broken as well. Right, lap 14. And we did beat the lap record as well ages ago, 1:27.7. So that's a bonus. Nice smooth line, yep, good. Received quite a few subscribers recently as well. So to all the new subs, hello and thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy motorsport, then you've come to the right place. I think 95% of the channel is made up of motorsport related stuff, racing, mostly classics. Because the premise of the channel originally was to play games that I played growing up. So anything from, you know, the NES era to the PlayStation and so on and so forth, Mega Drive, Master System. And to show the newer generation, or the kids of today, that, you know, these older games are incredibly good fun, that they're actually more fun than some newer games. So yeah, that's why I play mostly classic games, like on the PlayStation and stuff like that, because not only is it a massive nostalgia trip for me, but it is for other people as well who grew up with the same games, and they remember where they were when they first played it, and you know, that's what it's all about, really. To give a sense of nostalgia and to take you back into memory lane. Oh, and Honda's just gone into one of the scoring pylon box polystyrene things. Right. Lapping John Cleland and crew for the third time. Get out of it. Move. Move. Don't block your line. Okay, you're going to go off then. Sod you. So we'll lap them another time. I think we're going to lap them on the last lap. It's usually in 5 lap increments. And again, see, I don't know if that is Will Hoy or Craig Baird, because the numbers are very pixelated on the side and it doesn't have the name in the window. So that is why I pick on John Cleland and Warwick in the voxels, because they're the easiest to spot. Starting one more lap. Trevor, extra strong mints. If you actually have a chance to grab extra strong mints, then I highly recommend it if you haven't tried them before, because they're bloody lovely. They were my sweet of choice when I was a kid. Them and Kendall mint cake, which is very hard to come by these days. You usually find them on eBay. But yeah, there used to be a little shop we used to go to when I was a little wee lad, many eons ago. And yeah, it was either extra strong mints or Kendall mint cake. And I'm actually surprised that the amount of crap I used to eat when I was a kid, that I've still got all my teeth left. It's insane. Guess I was just lucky in that respect, but yeah. Granted, I don't have all my teeth. I had to have like 4 molars and a wisdom tooth extracted bloody ages ago when I had braces, because I had too many teeth in my gob and they had to make room for the teeth to move around a bit. So I had to have 4 molars and a wisdom tooth taken out in one go. They did ask me if I wanted to do it in multiple sessions, but I'm like, no, just get it over and done with. I walked out of the dentist like a car crash victim. I had blood pouring out of my mouth. I couldn't speak, obviously, because my mouth was numb, so I looked like I had a stroke. So I had 2 old dears come up to me going, "Are you alright, love?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just had teeth taken out." And, you know, I couldn't speak. I sounded like Quasimodo sort of thing. Or the Elephant Man. But, yeah, it was fun times. I think that's the worst thing about tooth extraction. Because, of course, you're awake when you do it. When they do it, sorry. You have the jabs in your gums and everything, so it deadens everything. And you can't really feel the pain, it's just a little bit of pressure. But then you hear when they're breaking the roots, when they're twisting your teeth out, and you just hear all this cracking. It's like your skull is being cracked into. That is the worst part of having teeth taken out. But oh hum. Oh look, we're actually coming up to lap one of the Renaults. I believe that is going to be Jason Plato. I'm going to leave Jason Plato as he is, because he is not going to be our main title rival for this championship. That is going to be Alan Menu. So if we can catch up to Menu, I'll just give him a little nudge, push him off, and then I will cackle my way to the start-finish line. But yeah, I think it's like the first 2 or 3 rounds that the difficulty is very similar to that of Donington Park. It doesn't increase by a huge amount until maybe, like I said, a quarter of the way or halfway through the season, where it just sort of like hits you in the face like a wet kipper sort of thing. And then it's impossible to catch up with the Renaults because they just blast away. So there's a Nissan. Goodbye. Other news, the 1994 British Touring Car Championship, I'm going to restart completely. The first race, or the first round, was a test. Fury has been working on the AIW files and making sure that the cars, the AI, are a lot more competitive than they were. Because I did actually record rounds 2 and 3 at Brands Hatch. But the AI were so slow, it was just not fun. It was not competitive. I spun. I think at the beginning of the race, and I ended up in 20th position, and I managed to work my way up to 5th before the race even, got to its closing stages. So, yeah, he's been working on that. So when the series does resume later on in the year, then things should be a lot more competitive for me, and the Volvo should handle a lot better as well. So, round 1 at Thruxton is just going to be treated as a test. Yeah, everything is going to be reset to 0, and we're going to do it all over again, which is going to be great fun. Oh, no, oh, you swine, I almost kept that in the slide. Bloody Warwick in the way. Oh well, only 2 laps to go, so this is, gone fairly quickly for us. I thought it would have dragged on, but no, 20 laps has seemed to have flown by. Oh well. Let's see if we can lap Cleland one more time before the end of the race. Which, should probably catch up to him on the last lap. Now, I would have thought with the rain bucketing down as it is at the moment, the wipers would have been going like Billio, but no, he's only got it on the intermittent wiper. Or speed. But then, these cars don't really have any windscreens. Right, final lap, and the 20 is cut off at the side, as it always did. I'm surprised they didn't fix that when the game was being made, but nope, the 20 always gets cut off. Or always gets cut off, I should say, on the corner. Coming up to another Peugeot. Get out the way, thank you. Very boisterous, but you got to be in this championship. Because it's a touring cars, it wouldn't be the British touring cars with a bit of argy-bargy. Oh, is that who I think it is up in front? No, I thought it was the Renault. But it's not, it's just a Ford. And there's Cleland though. Can we actually lap him for the 4th time before we get to the start-finish line? And the answer to that is yes. Hooray! So there we go. We win.
A great result and 15 points to the Volvo protégé. Here's a rundown of the final placings.
Yep, so we win by a huge margin, 1 minute 11 seconds from Alan Menu and Jason Plato, 1 minute 39. Then Frank Bila, unfortunately, pushed down to 4th. Then it's the Honda twins of Thompson and Tarquini. Bincliffe, David Leslie, the rest, Kelvin Burt finished 9th, so he's in the points, that's not a bad thing. Tim Harvey, Warwick, Reed, Radicic, John Cleland, Will Hoy and Patrick Watts, 5 minutes adrift. So there you go.
The pole position for race 2 has to be decided now, so let's join the second qualifying session.
Nope, we're not going to join the second qualifying session. We're going to leave it here for now, and I will skip qualifying before we start round 4. So yeah, I will leave it here for now. Once again, to all the new subs to the channel, hello, and thank you very much for subscribing. I hope you enjoy the content that I pour out. When and if the computer actually works. And yeah, I will see you all then for round 4 at some point when I can get it all rendered and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you then.